Good morning. This is Morten from Inkish. We had the pleasure of being in Santa Fe Springs today in the newly opened, do you call it experience center or demo center?
We call this a demo training center.
Demo training center for BOBST, and I'm here with John. John, good to see you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
I mean, what I like about being in the industry, every time I talk to people that have so much experience as you, I learn new things all the time.
Yeah.
And you're the number one in tooling, right?
I am the tooling service manager for BOBST in North America.
And I mean, for people that are in the industry, of course, they understand that tooling is about the dies and all the tooling that go into producing the wonderful products that you use the BOBST technology for. But how important, how big part of the BOBST business is this tooling business?
Well, the tooling business is a big part of what we're doing today, because today it's all about high performance tooling. It's about getting the maximum output out of the machines. And through our experience, we found that the output of the machines is mostly affected by bad tooling.
Oh, okay. So you see an efficiency growth just by the fact that you can monitor and see how the tools are used?
Right. So now we're monitoring tools. I'm glad you brought that up. So we have an item called ToolLink. And ToolLink is connected to our BOBST Connect system, where we can monitor the health of the tool, the longevity of the tool. We can see everything that's going on. The ToolLink is saving settings, is communicating back and forth with the customer, and also communicating data to the die maker.
That's amazing, because I mean, when you see a die form like this, I mean, I think that most people, they understand, okay, we have the rubber, we have the knives, we have all the things that makes things happen. But this is actually, because you told me a little thing that I was not aware of, the hardness of the material is important.
The wood is very hard.
Yeah.
For instance, this is birch.
Yeah.
It's birch. It's called die lumber. It's birch. And like I said before, we have birch trees in the United States. This comes from the Baltic states. Overseas, where it's very cold, it's grown up in the mountains where it's cold, it's more dense. And when I say it's hard, you can't even put a nail in it. So the nail would bend. So we use a laser. The laser, it's cut with a laser. And when we talk about connecting the tools, and I want to talk about this tooling chip.
So that is a small chip that basically identifies this particular tool here.
Right, it's an RFID chip. Right, this chip has a serial number to it, unique to this job. Has a job number and serial number.
So does that mean that when you mount this in the machine automatically understands that this is the tool that is placed in the machine with this job?
Right, when we put this in the machine, it recognizes that chip, and we link it to a recipe that we already have on the machine that the operator put in. And he has to put the recipe in first. But the second, third, fourth, fifth time that we run this tool, it automatically finds the recipe, and it remembers the settings from the last time we ran it. The last sheet out of the machine, it records the settings.
So that basically means that it offers the customers a higher uptime on production.
Correct.
But it also gives them the opportunity to know if the die is worn out and you need to replace it while you are in a job, so you don't have to wait for it, right?
So with that chip, we're monitoring the life of the die. We can see when the tonnage is going up. When the tonnage is going up, that usually means the knives are wearing out. Something is happening to cause the tonnage to go up. When the tonnage gets to a certain level, basically the die is dead. So we're measuring this. We can preemptively know when the tool is going to fail, and we can already have one on order or order another one.
And what I mean, before we had this, or you had this smart technology, what was was the process more that the operator just had to look at the work?
It was the operator,
okay.
Totally operator driven.
So that could basically end up having a long, let's say, break up or change over in a new job and waiting for the tool.
Every operator is different.
Yeah.
One operator, shifts could change. They might not communicate with each other. The die could die in the middle of a shift. We don't want this to happen.
When you have a system like this, because as I told you before, at Droop, we spent a little time on getting to understand and learn about the BOBST Connect. I guess that this is part of the ecosystem that BOBST is building. You know, everybody's talking about the digital transformation. This is how you make a tool part of the digital transformation.
This is part of it.
Yeah.
It's all about digitalization. We have a saying, I call it CADS, right? And it's connectivity, automation, digitalization, and sustainability. Right? That's what it's all about today. And this is all part of that. It's all part of that. It's in those four pillars that we call.
John, one thing is we talk about the tools. I was also a little bit intrigued by your story. I mean, 42 years in the industry.
42 years.
Yeah.
42 years with
so
BOBST.
you know everything here, right?
I think I know a little about a lot.
A little bit about a lot.
And if I don't know the answer to something, I usually know somebody that does. And I wanted to talk quickly about something here that's near the floor.
Okay, so what do you have here? I mean, that is what you typically put into the machine,
So
right?
this is a blanking tool.
A blanking tool.
This is a blanking tool. So every job requires a unique blanking tool. It can get costly. This is called an easy blanker frame. This frame now stays in the machine. Before, in the past, every job had its own frame. This black frame had its own frame.
So that you had to change frames all the time, basically.
All the time. It drives the cost up about $400, $500, $600, depending on the format of the machine. Now this stays in the machine. We don't take it out. The only thing we change is the wooden top.
Fantastic.
So
and that, of course, saves a lot of time and it saves a lot of money, right?
It's saving a lot of money to the end user, and we can exchange the top. Right, you can go on YouTube and you can see a video of the Easy Blanker frame. You type in Easy Blanker frame, you'll see it, and we can exchange the top in seconds.
Okay.
Seconds.
And that is and that is something that is unique to BOBST, or
it's very unique to BOBST.
Yeah.
It's made by Blanking Systems, who's a partner of BOBST for probably 35 years.
Okay, almost as long as you've been there.
Almost as long as I've been there. So we've been partners with Blanking Systems for 35 years. They make that for us.
Another thing you also spoke about, that was this metal plate.
The steel plate.
The steel plate, yeah.
Yes.
Because I think that most people understand, of course, the BOBST do the machines. Obviously, you also do the dies. But you also do the rubber, but also you do these. What was the name of these?
So this is called Matrix. It's made by a company called Cedo. It's a German company. There's all kinds of matrix. This is a fiber-based matrix. There's a PVC-based matrix. Matrix is used to make the creasing on the box. This is one way to do it. I have a saying, good, better, and best. Good, better, and best.
Depending on job size.
Depending on the job size, the quality, the type of box that you're making.
Yeah.
This is a good way to make creases. There's a better way. A phenolic counter is a better way.
Yeah. That is like the two-knife system, or?
The phenolic counter is, it's a fiber-based material. It's very thin. It comes in different thicknesses based on the board thickness, and we mill the channels into it and then glue it to the plate.
Okay, so that
Similar
is one
to
of
this.
the differences. Okay, yeah.
So that's better.
Yeah.
The best way is to have a steel plate, and we mill the channel in the steel, which you'll see today on the machine. So it's good, better, and best. And it all depends what you're doing.
Fantastic.
If it's a two-up job, maybe you do something like this. If it's a more complex job, maybe you use a phenolic counter. If it's a job that's going to run millions of sheets, a steel counter. Yeah. So it's good, better, and best.
And of course, if you have like millions, it doesn't really matter the cost of this, right? I mean, to do the melting. Right?
So I'm glad you brought that up. The cost of this plate is minimal. In the past, it was more expensive because it would take 8 hours or something to mill it. Technology has changed over the last 30 years. We can mill steel plate in 45 minutes to 1 hour.
Okay, so that has also been brought down time-wise.
So the cost of the plate has really dropped.
Yeah.
And then we look at machine time. How long, because this is done on the machine. How long does it take to put all these on?
So this is done in the machine?
This is done in the machine.
Fantastic.
So it takes a longer time. Phenolics is faster. That's also done in the machine. But the steel plate is already done. You put it in and you run.
So smart.
So,
yeah.
We save make-ready time, which is expensive. The goal is to run more sheets.
Yeah.
The more sheets we run, the more the customer can invoice his customer at the end of the day.
Fantastic. So, open house here today in your new facility.
Yes.
What is your expectations?
Oh, I expect to see a lot of customers from the West Coast, even some from the East Coast, to come talk to us today about tooling, talk to us about the die cutter, talk to us about the gluer, and the whole process and what goes on to actually make a job run at optimum speed.
And you told me that you cover some part of Central America and North America. So I guess that it must be nice for you to have another home that you can come and visit, right?
For sure. I'm covering Canada, United States, Mexico. Like I said, I have a coworker. He speaks Spanish. He's more or less down in the southern part, across the border in Mexico and Central America.
I mean, I hope you will have a fantastic day. I'm sure you will, because it's a fantastic place.
You.
And Great talking to you.
Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you. Thank you.